Today, we're going to be getting a nice update on the Formula Drift car and checking in on the progress of it. But mainly, I'm delivering ethanol. I'm a gas delivery guy today. We're heading to Nagoya. It's about a 3.5 hour drive, and we'll pick things up once we get to TM Labo, which is Tanaka-san's shop, and check out all the wiring and the work that he's been doing on the car. We've made it to Nagano and just 3 hours away from Tokyo Yokohama area. We're kind of like south and then over west a bit. But look at this scenery change. It is beautiful. There's like sakura trees still blooming here. I'd say they probably still have another whole week here, which is awesome considering everything around Tokyo, all the sakura's already gone. But yeah, it's amazing. And the best thing is as well, is it's dropped about 15 degrees down here compared to where I was. So it's beautiful. I love it when it's just kind of like coming into spring weather where it's still kind of chilly and just perfect hoodie wear. And of course, I'm not going to miss this opportunity. Make sure you go to SAMMIT.net and grab some of the new merch, especially the new Pink Bits merch. We got white and black hoodies, so make sure you check it out. You guys will look great in them. But I need a drink, so we're going to grab something from the vending machine. Unfortunately, there's no Gamer Supps in this vending machine yet. It'd be super cool to see Gamer Supps break into the Japanese market and have like a canned energy drink in here. We're just going to go with a good old Coca-Cola. I find the further down south you go in Japan, the cheaper the vending machines get. And in Osaka, you can get drinks for like as low as 40 yen, 60 yen out of these things, which is wild. But there we go. Nice Coca-Cola. Crack this open. Let's walk over to TM Labo. Definitely not the ASMR coffee time you're used to, but cheers, guys. Now, this shop may not have any crazy signage out the front, but trust me, what goes down in this shop is absolutely wild, and some of Japan's best drivers have their cars here all at some point, or they're getting him flown out to all around Japan to do the tunes for them. This is the only signage you'll see here. It's pretty much this on the door. Let's go in and check it out.
I just went in there, and Hector is gonna be running 3 Honda Civics with spoon engines. And on top of that, he just came into Harry's and he ordered 3 T66 turbos with NOS and a Motec system exhaust.
Now I'm gonna try and give you guys an update on the car without interrupting Tanaka-san, because he is very, very busy trying to get this car up to tip-top shape and wired and everything so that we're good for tuning on Tuesday, which is an insane deadline. He's rewiring the entire car. Those with a keen eye can see pretty much everything that is wiring still left in the car has a plug terminated on it and needs to be wired into the new harness that he's making. But we got the new G35 900 turbo on here, which should give me a little bit more mid-range and a little bit more power down low so that we can, combat some of the lag issues. And obviously we've moved to a new electronic throttle body setup this year, which is going to give us way more control over things like anti-lag as well as traction control and things like that. So we're going to be doing a bunch of really cool kind of technical stuff with the car. We're still running electric power steering. I know some people don't like the feeling of it, but I honestly don't feel a single difference running this. Maybe it's because we run it in the front and not the back with the whole like longer hose issue. But yeah, I have no issues with the electric power steering setup. It's great. The only thing that I do have an issue with is that because we're not running the OEM power steering pump, we don't have that extra pulley here to run the belt correctly, which then means we have a lot of issues where the belt squeals a lot. And we're going to try and combat that with some different tensioner setups and stuff this year. But for now, we're sticking with what we had last year because it worked. It was just noisy, and that's sucked, I'll just rub some deodorant on there from time to time until we come up with a better solution. I'm sure you can also tell that we don't have a radiator in the front here. All we have is the power steering cooler and the oil cooler. There will be a fan getting put on there and a nice plate made up to go across here, but that will probably be after round 1. For now, this is kind of how it's going to be. Radiator hoses go under the car and shoot all the way to the back to the rear mount radiator, which we'll show in a bit. But I do want to talk about some of the new sensors and stuff that we're going to be running. Most importantly is this back pressure sensor. Now, usually a lot of people have the pressure sensors on the exhaust side set up coming off the manifold here to see what's going into the turbo and the back pressure inside the manifold. But what we've got is we've got a back pressure sensor set up on the actual downpipe so that we get an idea of how much back pressure is coming from the turbo, so we are not going to be going above what this thing's comfortable spinning at, which is going to give us the best results possible with the 900 series or just the G series in general. It's a good recommended tool. Another thing that we want to add is the speed sensor in here as well, just so we can get this turbo dialed in perfect at its efficiency rating. We've got a new boost controller solenoid that's actually properly mounted now. Previously, we used to just have it like mounted on with a zip tie, but Tanaka-san's a perfectionist, which I love, so he's gone and fixed that. And you can see he's already started working on some of the wiring around the car and made it looking nicer as well, which is great. Now, the problem is this car went through so many different owners and hands that the wiring harness just kind of kept getting like patched up and fixed wherever it did. Now, the last people that had it, which was Lewis, they did a really good job at fixing up some of the issues with the initial wiring on the car, which I believe were these guys, CCD. They did a really good job. Tanaka-san said anywhere where he saw that they touched stuff, it was like mil-spec wiring and was really, really nice and high quality stuff. But then things where from the previous owners of the car before Lewis got it, there are just weird things here, like the coil pack harness had wires all like soldered together and electrical taped up and weird stuff like this all over the car. So fortunately, I'm glad we were doing this. We found a lot of little issues and stuff with the harness from, I guess, whoever previously initially wired the car. But yeah, otherwise everything's getting changed. You can see the dash is out right now. We get a really good look at some of the goodies in here. We've got 2 Link Razor PDMs, which is going to give us every input and output that we need for pretty much anything and everything on this car. Just super exciting. We're of course running a Link Fury ECU that's going to be controlling everything. We're going to have the Link Aim dash. I just got in the car, sat in there. We measured it all up and got it all perfect so we know where the dash needs to be. We're running a 350Z Z33 pedal. So this is what's going to be sending everything that we need data-wise to the ECU to then open and close the throttle body. And then moving to the back is some of the biggest changes as well. We're running a radium fuel cell. This has way more capacity, as well as it gives us a level indicator. This is important so I know whether or not I can get another lap in for practice, because if the time that it takes me to go into the pits and refuel and come back out, it's already closed and I can't get a practice lap. But if we have this, I know how much fuel we have and how many more laps I can do. The best thing is now that we've increased the capacity a little bit as well, is we're probably going to be able to average about 6 practice laps before I need to come in, which is really good. The only problem with that is tire consumption, whether or not we're going to have enough tire to be able to consecutively do 6 laps or not. Well, that comes down to the surface and a bunch of other factors. But yeah, rear mount radiator setup, and this is done a little different than what you would probably see in the US and other countries. And I'm trying to combat the lighting issue here a little bit, but we'll do what we can. You're going to see that the welded fittings for the AN lines actually come to a little piece here where we then use hose clamps and this piece here. And this is so that we can, at any point in time, if we have a rear end crash, we can just grab any radiator and make it work in here, because we don't have to worry about welding fittings on or anything like that. So this is just a quick way for us to be able to switch a radiator in no matter what it is. Now we do have a spare one of these, which is an A80 Supra radiator. We do have a spare one, and we could have just welded fittings on that and had that in the box and ready and stuff, but you never know in what situation what's going to happen, and this is kind of just how they like to do things. Now we'll see how we go. We'll see if we like it, if I want to make it cleaner, if I end up not having any crashes and I'm like, you know what, we'll just keep a spare welded up, we might go down the more prettier route of welding the fitting directly onto a radiator. But for now, I'm happy with this, and I think it's a great solution. We're running Aristo fans. These are really good, great factory options, super cheap, easy to find, and they bolt straight up to the Supra A80 radiator, which is a huge capacity one too. These are like one of the biggest radiators you can buy. So it's just good that you can, get like an OEM radiator in there. aftermarket, you know what I'm saying, guys. But yeah, this thing's sturdy. It's not going anywhere. I'm hyped. The rear end's gonna look sick with the trunk on there and stuff. You won't even see it. And I'm really excited because we're gonna have a little bit more weight in the rear to play with. And I got to spend probably the better part of a couple hours on the phone with Matt Field, and he was really helping me understand two-way coilover suspension and how to really get that dialed in and adjusted correctly with compression and damper, or compression and rebound, as they say. So I have a whole nother, another level of understanding of just suspension in general, and that's really going to help me dial and tweak this rear end as well as the front end and get things figured out to get this car feeling really, really nice, so that now I understand more about why the car does certain things when I tell it to, compared to other cars and stuff like that. So the more information I understand and am able to kind of watch a video of how my car's driving and put that against how it was feeling, and then being able to look at it and actually understand what's causing that, is just a whole nother level. So I'm really excited about that. That means that I can just get this thing feeling even better. But that aside, most importantly, we need to make sure everything is good to go mechanically, and that's why we are here. Steve and Foster did an amazing job getting all the fabrication work and all that kind of stuff done for Tanaka-san to pretty much just get all the wiring and everything situated and sorted out. So he's going to be working on that and getting this finished in the next couple of days, and we will be right back here to do the tune. But I think we're going to Gifu for the tune. So we'll be over there, which we've been before. Last time we tuned this, we were there, so should be good. Also, just in case, I want to clarify, this is still the old livery. This is all going to be pulled off once the tune's done and the new livery is going on, which I'm really excited to show you guys. It's going to be sick. And I'm really excited also about all the new sponsors we're working with this year. There's been a fair few changes, and I know you guys are going to be really, really hyped when you see who they are. Tanaka-san's just getting the coil pack harness on there that he made up. Now, we were going to be running this really nice PRP kit on the car, but the way that the water line is run for the turbo, it's interfering with the coil pack. So we've gone with this Japan branded ignition projects set up for now until we end up changing the engine for the next round. Hopefully that goes through, and then we'll have an entirely different engine cover that'll match the PRP, which I'm a little disappointed about because I was really excited about having pink and blue eccentrics on the engine. But obviously, until we change this engine, it's orange. So we'll roll with what we've got for now and what we can make do. But we were having issues with these old coil packs, which I have no idea about. I don't know what make of coil pack this is, what car it's from. I've never seen this before, but yeah, interesting design, but it worked okay. It's just we had a fair few issues with them. So, and everyone just uses the R35 coils from the GTR. And if we ever had any issues at the track, the plug's entirely different and spares are harder to come by. So we're all just trying to use the same stuff that everyone uses here in Japan, so that let's say something does go wrong and I don't have the spare part, you can kind of just ask a friend at the track. Be like, hey man, could I borrow a couple coil packs? Or could I borrow this? Could I borrow that? And you're good to go and keep driving. So we're kind of just doing the cookie cut 2JZ kind of setup, if that makes sense. Which, I mean, we're kind of on track with how this car is. It's an S15 with the 2J. I'm so excited to use this quick fill dry brake system. Looks amazing. Oh man, it's gonna change everything for me. I want to ask if I can. I want to try and put some gas in it. I want to use this. This just looks so cool. Now that I have that, it's gonna actually feel like a real race car for me. I thought I had the camera rolling just then, but Tanaka-san let me put this in the car, and I kid you not, this whole 5-gallon container dumped all the ethanol into my fuel tank in 10 seconds. It was insane, and I've never experienced anything like that when filling a race car. I'm so excited about this. This is gonna make things so much smoother. One interesting thing about Tanaka-san is he's not full Japanese. He's half Brazilian. So he came when it's 17歳来た. Yeah, he came to Japan when he was 17. ずっと車面白いですか? Tanaka-san. 最初バイク. So at first he was into bikes. 長野バイクいいね. Trail bike ね. Trail biking around here would be so cool. We need to do some trail biking in Japan in the future for sure. Maybe one day when we get a mountain, which is actually in this area, is what I would like to do. Get some big land out here. But yeah, that's so cool. So he was into bikes first and then ended up into race cars and drift cars. Some drivers that he currently works with in FDJ is Mad Mike. He does the tune and manage and looks after that whole car, which is insane. 3 rotor でしょ? 3 rotor? 4 rotor. 4 rotor, twin turbo?
Twin turbo.
Yeah. 何馬力
1000.
1,000? A little over 1,000. So he looks after Mad Mike's car. He tunes rotaries. He tunes 2 JZs. RV もできる?
VR.
He can do VR too, the 35 engine? Nice. Yeah, he's like the man, and he's also got a reputation of always making the tune perform really good horsepower, but also safe. So you're not always like at that line limit where the engine, you know, if something kind of goes wrong, it blows up. It's always at a point where pretty much if something goes wrong, the engine's savable. And he's always using all the safety parameters and all that kind of stuff in the ECU so that the thing shuts down before anything goes wrong. So he's got a really good reputation. He's probably one of the best tuners out here, especially in the competition area. So it's really cool to be able to work with him and get him looking after my car, which he did last year. Tune was amazing, had no problems. And this year, made a few improvements to a bunch of stuff. And we're getting everything else sorted out in the car, which cutting it close. With the interior of the car, I'm really happy with my driver position. I don't think that needs to change whatsoever. The only thing I'd like to change is my shifter. I need this a little higher. I find that it's too low. And I have a really nice serial 9 shifter that'll bring it up to here. We just have to drill and thread, tap the threads in it because the threads that are on the G-Force shifter is entirely different and not an industry standard for any other kind of like OEM shifter or anything like that. So that's one thing that I'll be changing shortly, and that should also make a nice difference for me when I need to do downshifts. But the position of the hydro and everything else is quite nice. We might end up moving that around or playing with maybe even a different shifter. I don't know what you'd call this, like stalk, pole, or shifter shaft, I don't know. But yeah, we may also play with like a different one of these that's maybe a little dog-legged or something later on, but we'll see how we feel with just changing the shifter knob, and we'll go from there. But I definitely want to try and get a sequential in here soon. I think that's going to really make a big difference, and yeah, then we can put this G-Force in the chaser and no longer blow any transmissions. 今日は本当にありがとう。またよろしく。Just made it back to Tokyo, and I figured on the way home, let's pull into Daikoku, PA. The weather looks amazing, so it's probably going to be a great night. Let's go see some cars and just chill out. Looks like a pretty good turnout. Let's go park and see what's here. The weather has definitely downgraded a little bit. It's a bit wet, kind of spitting, but it's not too bad. Oh wow, it's a Corvette. And this 8.6 is slammed. I love coming here every single time. You come here every single weekend and you'll still see something different. Yeah, that's a nice 8.6. Still more of a fan of the new GR 8.6s though. That's cool. V35 Skyline made to look like an Infinity. No! Right as we got here. What are the chances in that? Dude, there's like hardly anyone here. And they're gonna shut it down. Nice crown. This guy in the 8.6 is kind of rebelling against the cops. This is going to be interesting. They're closing down the PA. This guy. This is a very rare occurrence, to be honest. Usually people don't aggravate the police. Still kind of funny. Well, that's it, guys. We just got here and the police already shut it down. A couple of them are doing it now. Oh damn, that's a clean FD. I like that a lot. off the clutch. A little wild tonight. Listen to the 8.6er. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have a feeling they weren't happy about getting kicked out. Just a hunch. It's a little unfortunate that that cocker got shut down right as we got there. But we still got to see some cool cars, and it was kind of funny to see the, I guess it was like just a little group of friends, like a little club of 8.6 owners. It's kind of cool to see that. But anyways, I'm gonna head home, we'll pick it up once we get there. Back home now, guys, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Got a nice little insight of everything that's happening with the FD car and how close it's cutting it to next weekend. But I'm confident that Tanaka-san's gonna have everything ready for the tune on Tuesday. And then after that, we've then got to deliver the car back up to Fukushima, Site X, got to get delivery done, got to do a little bit of test driving, and we're then back all the way down to Suzuka. It's going to be a wild week. It's going to be very lack of sleepish. I don't know if that's a word, but you know, it's going to be, I guess, normal, like normal race car stuff. It's always the round one. Round one for the year is always hectic like this, meeting crazy deadlines and stuff, but I'm prepared for it. I'm excited and I'm ready. So it's going to be a good event. It's going to be amazing. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. SAMMIT.net. Get some merch. Bye. Peace.
I just went in there, and Hector is gonna be running 3 Honda Civics with spoon engines. And on top of that, he just came into Harry's, and he ordered 3 T66 turbos with NOS and a Motec system exhaust.